So I've been flicking through Talia Goodman's Twitter right here, and there is one crazy stat. And look, I'm somebody that was a big fan of college basketball in the mid 2000s, back when Reddick stayed a few years, back when even Blake Griffin wasn't one and done, back when Tyler Hansbrough stayed his 4 years at UNC, and that team basically ran it back with like Wayne Ellington, Tyler Hansbrough. They still had, I mean, was Brendan Wright? Was he a rookie? Was he a freshman? I can't even remember. But I remember Ty Lawson, Hansbrough, and Ellington were there 2 years in a row. They ran it back and they won. All of that stuff. And that's a big thing with college basketball, where you become fans of these teams. And you become fans of players if they last more than a couple of years, or you know they're coming back. But now, in the women's, it was great because a lot of the times there was rivalries being built up. And obviously, look, the transfer portal is a thing. People are going to transfer. Like Angel Reese went from Maryland to LSU. Obviously, the same rivalry probably isn't there if she's not playing for Mulkey. Because Maryland, even with Angel Reese and Cheyenne Sellers, were not touching Iowa. At the same time, we now saw it originally. Okay, yeah, Tania Latson is leaving. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, her leaving. Florida State lost a lot of players and she's got 1 year to go. And then Olivia Miles is leaving. But, like, there's another Notre Dame player. Every Notre Dame player has entered the transfer portal. Like, every Notre Dame player has entered. And not only that, there is still time for people to enter the transfer portal still. There is still time. And I saw, where's the tweet here? I'm not joking when I say it. There's like 23% of all players in Women's Division 1 have entered the transfer portal. This is purely D1. There are literally 1 of every 4 players has entered the transfer portal. And by the way, let's not forget this. 1 of every 4 players pretty much graduates. There or thereabouts. And this is the COVID year, so there's 2 graduating classes in 1. So I would say the guts of 1 of every 4 has graduated. And then, like, almost 1 of every 4. So it's almost 50% of players are playing at a different college. Like, almost 50% of players. Like, it is mental. It is absolutely mental. Jada Williams, is she the one that people thought was going to go to Iowa? No, obviously gone to Iowa State. But either way, like, last year Poa's leaving LSU. Like, how few players are there? Like, last year Poa literally sued the U.S. government, averaged 2 points a game, and is then transferring. Like, it's actually getting mental. And I understand why players are doing this. Because you can get paid a bunch of money to leave your college and join another college. If you stay there, that, like, players are going to have to sign 4-year deals where, you know, it's $100K to transfer, cool, but you get we want $100K every single year. And especially with someone like a last tier Poa, as far as I'm aware, if you're not American, there's certain NIL deals that you can get. I'm pretty sure the transfer money you're allowed to get, it's just you're not going to it's something like you're not allowed active NIL deals, so you can't make money from your image rights, but you can still pre-sell your image rights, something like that. Because I know there are plenty of like foreign players that have made not as much as American players, but have made money in NIL. And everyone that I know that has done it has either gone in as a freshman or transferred. But you're looking at this, and everybody has just entered the portal, and it's going to ruin college basketball. It is, like, at least the players are going to be there. But, like, the fact, again, that you've got, like, nobody. No, Notre Dame barely have a player left. Like, Notre Dame, they hardly, outside of Hannah Hidalgo, they barely have a player. Like, they lost to TCU, obviously. And I just want to see who's still left from Notre Dame that played in that game. King gone, Westbelt gone, Citron gone, Miles gone, Prosper, Koval gone. Lisa Carlin, is she senior? I have no idea. Is she a senior? She's a senior, so gone. Like, they are... Oh, sorry, she's a super senior, isn't she? Yeah, she was a super senior. So literally, there are 2 players left from the team. And even players who didn't play are transferring out. Like, even players that literally did not play in that last game are transferring out, like Kylie Watson. Like, obviously, there's something seriously wrong with Notre Dame, but they went 8 deep and six are gone in the Sweet 16. In their win against Michigan, who again are a pretty good team, what happened in this game? So they obviously lost Watson as well. Or was Watson was she the one who was injured? Oh yeah, sorry. She was out injured for the year. So she's transferring as well. That makes sense. I was about to say, I was like, I don't remember her playing when I watched this team play. But how many of these, like if you're looking at other players that played in the game, obviously True Senior, I think. True Senior. Maybe has another year. Lucy Jensen. Freshman. Still there, but played in 10 games, 2 minutes per game. Like, they've got nobody. They've got no one. And, like, for the sake of college ball, like, it's one thing. It's one thing, again, when it comes to these players. But now you're going to see it if the Blue Bloods can make mistakes. So, like, UConn have not done the greatest job. Like, not that I don't even know if it's a recruiting thing or if it's a development thing. But, like, UConn, with the amount of, like, top recruits and 5-stars they've had since Breanna Steward, to have won nothing is pathetic. They should win this year. They really should win this year. Like, the best player on their two biggest rivals are both injured. Like, Ashlyn Watkins and Juju Watkins are both injured. So, that's something that they should 100% be going for. But, like, now it's at the stage where at these colleges like a UConn, if a player is not getting too many minutes, they can leave. And then they've got their choice of, even if they made a mistake, they've now got their choice of the best freaking players in the country to take in. Like, Caitlin Chen was a graduate transfer. Lou Lopez Seneschal a couple of years ago was a graduate transfer. You're now looking at this team, you're looking at these teams, not just specifically UConn, that are just going to get better and better and better. Who knows where Olivia Miles is going to go? And apparently, Tania Latson might be going to Notre Dame. So Notre Dame are going to have an entire new team. Like, it's almost turned into men's college ball, where there's brand new teams every year, but then you look at it, some teams in the men's side where everyone's 24 years old. But it's just a mad situation what's happening all in all with the transfer portal. And as somebody who, funnily enough, I used to watch a bunch of men's college ball, and I stopped watching men's college ball because the players were all going one and done, and it was hard to keep track with all the new players, and unless you really focused the whole time, like, you weren't really getting much out of it. As far as just viewership, it was hard to kind of keep up with it. But now I'm just like, I got into women's college basketball the last couple of years. Because you kind of knew the players, you knew the rivalries, you knew what was going to happen. Now everyone's just moving. Like, we go into next year. Like, in the 2026 class, Flaw J. Johnson might be gone. Like, Reagan Beers has transferred. Lauren Betts has transferred. Tania Latson has transferred. I need to just see this. 2026 WNBA mock draft. And again, look, some of these mock draft predictions, like on NBA Draft Room, I'm pretty sure this was a mock, like, these are not like true mock drafts. I think one of them has Malonga in twice in 2025. But Janiah Barker no longer plays for Texas A&M. It's only one round. Flaw J. Johnson might go in early. Ashlyn Watkins, in fairness, I think Ashlyn Watkins the whole time has been there in South Carolina. Kiki Rice. Has Kiki Rice been UCLA the whole time? Like, I don't even know. I genuinely don't even know. And then, like, if you look at South Carolina, their undefeated team, they got Tahina Pau and, like, Camila Cardoso as transfers. So it's just mental. It's just mental seeing this, and, like, players are hopping, and it means that these, like, top tier colleges are. I don't think we ever see another Iowa again. Like, I don't think we ever see that type of team. An Iowa for those 2 years, and Mississippi State for those couple of years. Like, and even though Mississippi State was a bit better on paper than those Iowa teams, we're not going to see something like that again. Because it all comes down to NIL money. And the more you transfer, the more money you can get paid if you are looking for money to play. And then if you're one of these players that is getting, like, a bit of, obviously, the NIL money from your likeness, you want to go to UConn, who sells the most merch. So it kind of takes a little bit away from college ball, but at the end of the day, these players do what's best for you. And I think that's probably the most important thing for the players, is do what's best for you. But it is just unfortunate that with the way the system is, what's best for the players is probably worse for the game. It's like if you're looking at, if you're a fan of football, not American football, like soccer, as you might call it. You're looking at players have now figured out the best thing to do is run down your contracts and constantly leave teams so that you keep getting signing on bonuses. Like that's the best thing you can do. So all in all, it's a really, I think it's very interesting to see just the evolution of sports, the evolution of all this. And hopefully at some stage we start to see some more rivalries. But the more players are just jumping and joining together, and I think there's still going to be that rivalry from the you support your school perspective in America, which is a little bit different than other countries. But I genuinely do think that while the rivalry might be help in there in that way, I don't think we're ever going to really see the rivalries the way it has been the last couple of years, or even the way it was, say, with UNC and Tennessee when certain players were playing against each other. Say not UNC, UConn, Tennessee, when every year players jumping teams makes more sense. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.